Hi guys, welcome back to Let It Out with Sadiq. Our guest today is a former top junior player, high performance tennis coach, Ferran Calvo. Ferran, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me here today. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for coming. For our viewers that do not know who you are, could you please introduce yourself?
So, as you know, I'm Ferran Calvo, a ex-tennis player, or maybe a tennis player right now because I still playing for fun, and a coach. I like to teach whatever I learned from all these years, and that's basically who I am. Like a fan of tennis, lover of tennis, and fanatic. Yeah.
Welcome again. Welcome.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for doing this. We've been trying to get Ferran for the last couple of weeks, but I'm glad we're able to make this work. Ferran, I'm looking through your records, like I don't even know who he is.
I mean,
But you played some high level tennis, junior tennis. Before we get into that, how did you pick up tennis? How did you start playing tennis?
So it all started with my brother because so when we were young, my brother in our town, he wanted to do some sports and he wanted to start with soccer, but they did not. There's not any place for him in that moment. So then the option was tennis. He started playing tennis, and as a little brother, I wanted to do the same as like big brother,
copy him. And
copying him and everything, and I just started playing tennis, and I just started loving it, and that's how I started playing tennis.
Picked it up. You played high level. At what age did you become like serious with it? Like at what age?
So in Valencia, like I was good from 10, 11, 12. But like talking in Spain, I just started being good in 13 years old. Yeah, that I had like I went to the final in the Spanish tournament, the national tournament, and out of nowhere because I broke my wrist. And then, like, without even practicing, almost like practicing 1 week after coming back from broken it, I was starting playing really, really bad that tournament, and then I just start winning, and that's how when all it started. So yeah.
So like from 10, 12, you're like not like serious, but then from 13 you picked it up, become nationally recognized. You played high level. At some point you were the top player in Spain, like number one player in Spain. That was the 16 and unders, right?
Yeah, so like in 14, 15.
14, 15.
Yeah, 14, 15, and then every year I was kind of maintaining that ranking, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just started all in 14, 15, 16.
At that 14, 15, 16, were you already in the Spanish? Were you already in the Spanish team? Were you based in Valencia all of this time when you were?
So I was in Valencia until 14 years old, and then at that point the Spanish Federation called me because there's like a place where they were practicing all the best players from every age, and practicing together, living together, going to school together, everything that a tennis player needs in the same place. So they called me at 15, and I was there until 18. So 3 years practicing with them, living with them, and building as a tennis player all together. And I was lucky that like I was traveling a lot, and I could play a lot of tournaments too.
The federation, the Spanish federation, sponsor all of these tournaments, everything while you're there.
Yeah, it's like a full scholarship that they give you to the best two players of every age. Yeah.
Oh, okay. 16 and under 2 player, 14 and under 2 player, and everyone is there, and they train together. They sponsor everything.
Yes. Yeah.
You did at some point. You did number one in Spain. You were the number one player in Spain at some point. What does it take to get to that level?
Wow, so a lot of practice, but the most important, like the motivation of practicing every day, and basically living that life of a tennis player that is very, very the same routine every day, So you go to practice, you go to school, go practice again, then you have fitness. So a lot of work and dedication, discipline, and trying to enjoy the process too. That's the most important part too.
Wow, takes a lot of work to get to there, and most important, I think it's not just about getting there, like staying there, like doing it day in day out. And how long did it take you to get to that level? Like, is it like a space of 2 years, and you're like that,
So I started playing tennis more seriously when I was kind of 11, 12.
11, 12?
Yeah, like practicing
So like
4, 5 days a week, I think. And then from there, it all comes kind of easier in my way, because having an older brother
that plays,
made me see the way to make it, more or less, like the way of going play these tournaments or these ones, where to practice, because with my brother we were kind of guessing what is the right thing to do. But then with me it was easier, and like a lot of practice, discipline.
Wow. At that junior level, you got to ITF world number 41 in the junior ITF. I guess it's similar to being the number one in Spain. you got to world number ITF number 41.
Yeah.
At that moment, what was going on in your head, being the world number 41 juniors?
So it was like everything was very, like, not easy, but I had everything on my hand. I had the Spanish Federation helping me. I have an amazing player to practice with. I had all the facilities that made me focus and do the right thing, Good coaches too. So the feeling was like, I don't know, like I didn't really realize.
You were just in the moment.
Yeah, I was just in the moment, enjoying the process, the journey, and like I don't, like, hopefully I had this mentality that I have now on that moment, because I didn't realize that I could make it really far,
Talking like the players I see, I was looking through, actually. I didn't even realize how much of a beast you are. I was doing a little research, and you played the likes of Tsitsipas, Alex Damino, Kachanov, all of these guys, mad, and you played in the same tournament, all of these top players. When you played them at that level, did you ever imagine that these players would become professional?
So with some of them, yes. With some of them, like, I could see they were going to be very good. With some others, it wasn't that clear, to be honest. Like with Tsitsipas, I couldn't imagine he will get to that level, like, never,
Wow.
With Kachanov or Medvedev, Rublev, I could see it. I could see it because the way they compete, the way they were, like, I don't know, the aura they had on the tournament. They came on the court and just know, like, this player is good,
Oh, wow.
So, some players you could see it, some other players you could not see it, but that's the point. Like, you always can make it, and it just work, and do it.
You played at that level in the junior circuit all the way to 18. What is the transition? Did you ever try to go pro after the junior circuit? if yes, the likes of these players that they're playing in the professional level, right? What would you say is maybe the reason, I would say, why you're not competing at that level?
Me?
Like, yeah.
Oh, so the reason was the money. Like, my dad is like a humble person, like a regular family. I have a regular family. He doesn't have a lot of money, like the regular, normal. So basically was the necessity of having a sponsor to keep playing.
So,
because I could play tennis because of the Spanish Federation that they work with the scholarship, but that was the problem, like not having a sponsor. So that's why I decided to come to
college.
Yeah, to college.
Talking about like sponsor at that level, junior level, right? Most top player, they're sponsored to get to that level.
Yeah.
At the junior level, do you like get like endorsement? Do players just in general, do they get endorsement from like maybe Nike, Wilson, and then they pay for their trips and tournaments, or not really at that level?
Yeah. So the point basically, the way I see it is, you play the juniors, ITF, to play the Grand Slam, because then in the Grand Slam, at the end, all the sponsors are gonna be in the Grand Slam watching the professionals and then watching the youngest players that they are the best in the world, So my problem, I think, it was not playing the Grand Slams. Like, I didn't play any of them.
Any of the Grand Slams?
No.
Despite being top 40?
Yeah.
Do you mind asking why?
So basically it was
that was like a dream, bro.
There's a long story behind it, but it was because for Australia Open, I was in the Spanish Federation and we were 3 players who were qualified for the main draw, but the Spanish Federation in that moment couldn't pay for 3 of us, so only 2 players were going to Australian Open. So it was between me, that I was number 1 in that moment, 41 or something like that. Then Jaume Munar was number 2 and Pedro Martinez was number 3, or maybe it was reverse. But and the Spanish Federation decided to pick Jaume Munar and Pedro Martinez.
And you were ahead of the both of them?
Yeah, I was ahead, but my man passed away 3 months ago, 3 months before the Australia Open. And they were saying that I wasn't ready, blah, blah. But in my part, I was ready. I mean,
do you feel
it was the best, the most thing that I wanted in that moment. Yeah.
To compete in the play. Do you think that could be part of the reason why you didn't go pro?
I mean, it could be because...
It could be a game changer. It could be, you never know, I guess.
You never know. Then when you play the Grand Slam, you always can get a sponsor if you like them, you have to like them, your values, everything, like how you behave on the court, there's a lot of things. But it will be easier for me if I will get to the Grand Slam and maybe get a sponsor or something to start playing pro.
At that point, you were the number 1 in Spain.
Yeah. For the first Grand Slam, I was the number 1. For the second one, I think I was the number 2 or 3. But I get injured 2 days before
Roland Garros. Yeah. And that's how you didn't play any of this Grand Slam.
Yeah, I mean, then Wimbledon, the Spanish Federation made me play the national championship because basically it was my last week of scholarship. So basically they didn't want me to pay that travel. If the next week I wasn't going to be there, basically. Yeah. And then the US Open, I was already back at home and my family couldn't afford it. Yeah, the travel and everything. So at the end, I didn't play any Grand Slam.
Yeah. That's like a dream, to a lot of young players out there to compete in this Grand Slam. But with all of that, what kept you grounded? What what was your source of motivation? Like, I didn't play all this Grand Slam, but I'm still out there working hard and all of this.
So after the Spanish Federation, I stopped playing tennis for 6-7 months because I had like a breakdown. I had like a breakdown, like the way I finished in the Spanish Federation. A lot of things, So, but I could never get on the court and not cry in that moment, So I was getting on the court and crying. I didn't know why. I didn't want to be on the court, so I just stopped playing tennis. And then my father was talking to me, maybe you can go college, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
All the family, all the friends, and at the end, I think about it and I did it. But at the first moment, I didn't want to come, like no way, because I didn't know how to speak English either, zero English.
Yeah.
And I was kind of afraid of coming here and alone 4 months, and after being away from home already three years, I wasn't feeling it, man.
Wow. During the camp, when you're with the Spanish Federation, you there the entire year, or you get like breaks? How long are you there before you go home? How much time do you spend there?
So the whole year, the whole year. But then on Christmas you were going home.
Yeah,
a little days. Then in the summer also like 1 week or 2.
Oh, wow.
But you were there the whole year.
Wow.
Like the school, then summer practicing, playing a lot of tournaments. And then you had like a couple weekends or some weekends that you could go home. Because nice. I was 3 hours away from home.
Oh, that's what city was that in?
Barcelona.
Oh, the campus in Valencia.
The Spanish Federation was in Barcelona, Sant Cugat.
Yeah.
And I'm from Valencia.
Of course.
You already know that, man.
Of course. But Ferran, you like your junior career, it's amazing, man. It's unfortunate that you didn't play any of those Grand Slams, but you've played, you've done the work, you grind and all of this, right? What would you say is the difference from your time when you were competing, when you were training back in the 2004, 2003? What is the difference with the set of players that you practice with compared to the set of players, the new generation?
Wow. I don't know, like now, I think the way to make it pro, or make it pro or living because of tennis is easier than before, because now, as you know, like now they're creating like a pathway in college that you can go to a college, they pay for tournaments also.
Let's play.
And they make you a path to make it pro and
pro
not
after college, even during summer, the school sponsor you to go play ITF Futures and all of that.
So the difference is that now they're taking more care of the youngest players on that situation, like in college, maybe also with social media, you can have a lot more sponsors. Because if you have a lot of followers, you can sponsor.
Get sponsorship deal because of your follow and you're getting known.
So there's more opportunities right now in that situation, but in the aspect of grind and work, I think now is even harder than before. Like the level is higher, I think. Players are getting better, like in the youngest ages. Like 15, 17, 16, they start really playing really good, So, the level is getting higher and they have to grown even more right now.
I know, like I think there's almost like at the age of like 17, 16, if you're gonna be a pro, you would know at that age, like
Yes.
not, oh, you're 20, like with the modern tennis, 15, 16, you see them playing like ATP challenges,
Exactly.
ATP challenges and all of that. I was
That's crazy.
50 years old, right?
I know, like when I was Candadera, like it wasn't. I couldn't imagine like playing already challengers
At
with
that
17.
16, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And now it's
No, now
almost
17
like
is
something
normal. Like,
yeah.
it's normal. You see more you see more 17, 18-year-old in the
Yes.
draw than you see 20-something year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because that, I feel like now, once you get to like 25, 26, like, oh, I gotta retire, you know, like, but before we round up this, there's a couple questions I want to ask, right? What are the chances to become a professional player if you're top 50 ITF junior in the world? You're top 50 in the world ITF junior. What are the chances of becoming a pro tennis player?
My opinion, maybe 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah, 50-50 because at the end it depends almost on you and the way you practice and having the perseverance, because there's a lot of players that they make it because they have been playing 7 years more of tennis of other people, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and they kept playing, practicing.
Consistency.
Consistency. Yeah. So 50-50 or 60-40. Or 60-40 because it's really hard to make it. But
60, the chance that you like 40% that you're gonna make it, 60 you're not gonna make it, or 60 you're gonna make it.
Yes, yeah. Like depending on you. Like then, if you look at the statistics, maybe it's 7%. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of players, a lot of people playing.
You know, and then that's from 96, 97, but then there's a lot of players from 98, 99 that are coming.
Yeah.
So at the end, there's only 100 spot.
Pretty much, top 100,
Yeah, top 100 is you living good, but if not,
outside of that,
yeah, they say it's complicated. So
it's complicated.
you are 150 in the world, and you are struggling living. So
wow, but 150 in the world, it's
only 149 players are better than you in the whole world.
The whole world. That's in how many billions of people in the whole world. I'm gonna round up with this. Let's round up with during your time when you compete, you've played the likes of these players. Who was your rival? Who would you say was your rival at that level, junior level?
All of
like
them,
you guys go back and forth, you know, like it's a war.
So more with the Spanish players, like maybe Jaume Munar, Alberto Barroso, Pedro Martinez. Like in Spain, there were a lot of good players. Carlos Taverner, Bernabé Zapata, like a lot of good players. But in juniors, like I was feeling that you could lose against anybody, you know. Yeah. Like even if you don't know him in the draw, they didn't have any ranking, you could lose against anybody. Like the level of everybody was high, and at the end was depending of little details of how to manage the emotions or how to manage the game against certain people, you know. So everybody was.
I was gonna say, what was your favorite surface? Just talking about juniors. What was your favorite surface? Clay, court, grass, hard?
In that point, it was clay.
Clay was, right?
Yeah. Clay was, yeah. But right now I like more hardcore. Yeah, and I remember playing very well in hardcore outdoor.
Yeah. Hardcore, wow.
Like if it's not very very fast, I really like it.
You like it, the hardcore.
If it was like indoor and really fast, I didn't like it.
Like that.
Yeah, and even less playing against these guys, like super huge.
I was gonna say, what is your biggest achievement in tennis?
Wow. Like in all the aspects?
Yeah. It's, could be tournament. What have you? What's the biggest achievement, playing tennis, or maybe like win Grand Slam? If you ask Nadal, it's probably say win the Olympic. I don't know.
For me, it's not more about any tournament, any trophy or anything. It's more about the person that I become because of tennis. Tennis teaches you a lot of things like values, teach you discipline, work ethic, all these important things that you need to survive. To be like, to have a good life mentally, everything. Because of tennis, I think the person I become is better than if I didn't play tennis.
If you didn't play tennis.
Yeah, 100%.
Our final question, Ferran. Who is your role model growing up?
It was Nadal, man.
Why Nadal?
Nadal because because it was different than anybody there. It was different, and at the end because he was from Spain. I didn't like Nadal when he was with no sleeve.
Oh, that's when I actually like him the most.
So in that point,
I literally caught my my this thing off.
I tried to play lefty, man.
Did you?
I was trying to play lefty.
At some point, they were calling me Junior Nadal.
but it didn't work out. Man.
Yeah.
But Nadal and then Federer, I love it, and one player I really love, it was Nalbandian.
Oh, Nalbandian, yeah.
Because my coach used to say always to copy the backhand of Nalbandian because he was saying he had a crazy backhand and it's true, one of the best.
Nalbandian,
so he loved Nalbandian.
You started watching him, yeah. Wow. But Ferran, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you to you.
Thank you.